There is one rule that governs every single creature in existence. From the smallest insect to the mightiest king, from the birds in the sky to the fish in the depths of the ocean, every soul shall taste death. It is the one inevitability. It is the one door we all must walk through. No amount of wealth can bribe it. No amount of power can fight it. No amount of technology can delay it. But throughout the history of mankind, there is a story of one man who defied the norm, a man who challenged the process, a man who, according to many ancient traditions and narrations, managed to do the impossible. He tasted death and came back. He saw the hellfire and returned. He entered paradise and refused to leave. This is the man who cheated death. This is the man who resides in the heavens, alive, right now. This is the untold, shocking, and mystical story of the prophet Idris, peace be upon him. To understand how he achieved this high station, we first have to understand who he was, because Idris was not an ordinary man. He was the great-grandson of Prophet Seth and the great-great-grandson of Adam, peace be upon him. He lived in a time when humanity was still young, but corruption was beginning to spread. Idris was unique. He was the first intellectual in human history. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told us that Idris was the first man to write with a pen. Think about that. The very concept of recording knowledge, of science, of mathematics, of astronomy, it all goes back to him. He was the first to sew clothes before him. People wore animal skins. He brought civilization, structure, and wisdom. But his greatest quality was not his intelligence. It was his devotion. It is said that the good deeds of Prophet Idris, his prayers, his fasting, his remembrance of Allah, were equal to the good deeds of all the people on earth, combined at that time. Every day, the angels would carry his record up to the heavens, and it was heavier than the rest of the world put together. This intense devotion created a connection, a bond between the earth and the sky. The angels loved him. They would visit him. They admired this human who lived in a world of dust, but had the heart of a celestial being. And it was this friendship with the angels that led to the most extraordinary journey in human history. One day, Idris, peace be upon him, was visited by an angel. Some narrations say it was the angel of the sun. Others say it was one of his close angelic companions. Idris had a worry. It wasn't a worry about money or power. It was a worry about time. He knew that the more he lived, the more he worshipped, and the more he worshipped, the higher his station in paradise would be. He was greedy, not for the world, but for the pleasure of Allah. So he made a strange request to his angel friend. He said, "O angel of my Lord, I want you to speak to the angel of death on my behalf. Ask him to delay my death, just a little, so that I may increase in my worship." The angel looked at him. He knew that the lifespan of a human is written in stone. It is a decree from Allah that cannot be changed. But he loved Idris. He couldn't say no to his request. So the angel said, "I have no power over death, but climb onto my wing. I will take you up to the heavens. We will find the angel of death, and you can ask him yourself." This was the beginning. Prophet Idris climbed onto the wing of the angel, and they began to ascend. They flew past the clouds. They flew past the atmosphere. They entered the realm of the celestial. They passed the first heaven, then the second, then the third. The air changed. The light changed. They were entering a realm where time and space work differently. Finally, they reached the fourth heaven, and there, standing in the celestial expanse, was a terrifying, massive figure. A figure of absolute authority and finality. The angel of death, Azrael, the angel carrying Idris, approached him and said, "Oh, angel of death, I have a request. This is Idris, the prophet of Allah. He asks if his life can be extended so he may worship more." The angel of death looked at them, but he didn't look angry. He looked shocked. He looked confused. He stared at Idris, sitting on the wing, and his eyes widened. He said, "Glory be to Allah." "This is impossible," the angel asked. "What is impossible?" The angel of death replied, "Just moments ago, my Lord commanded me to take the soul of Idris. But the command was strange, Allah told me. Take the soul of Idris in the fourth heaven. I was confused. I thought to myself, Idris is on earth. He is walking on the ground. How can I take his soul in the fourth heaven? Am I supposed to wait for him? Is he coming up? And now, here he is, sitting right in front of me." The prophecy had fulfilled itself. The request to extend his life was the very thing that brought him to the place of his death. But here is where the story takes a turn into the untold. In many of the detailed narrations found in our tradition, the story does not end with his death. It transforms into a test, a debate, a journey through the afterlife. While he was still technically a prophet of the earth, Idris, being a man of wisdom, knew that this was a unique opportunity. He was face to face with the end of all things. He said to the angel of death, "O angel, before you take me, I have a request. I want to taste death. I want to know what it feels like. Take my soul, and then ask Allah to return it to me, so I can worship him with the intensity of someone who truly knows the reality of the end." It was a bold request, but Allah granted it. The angel of death took his soul. Idris died. He experienced the separation, the silence, the darkness, and then, by the command of Allah, his soul was returned. He gasped, coming back to life. The angel asked him, "How was it?" Idris replied, "It was more bitter than anything I could have imagined. It was like a living beast being skinned alive now." He had tasted death, he had crossed that bridge, but he wasn't done, he said. "O angel, I have another request. I want to see the hellfire. I want to see the punishment of those who disobey, so that I may fear Allah as he deserves to be feared." The angel took him. They went to the brink of Jahannam. Idris looked down. He saw the chains. He saw the fire that is blacker than night. He saw the valleys of sorrow and the mountains of agony. He saw the Zaqqum tree, the fruit of devils. He saw the reality that awaits the arrogant. He was terrified. He was shaken to his core. He had seen the nightmare then. He made his third request, "O angel, show me paradise. Show me the reward of the believers, so that my heart may find peace, and I may yearn for it with every breath." The angel agreed. They ascended to the gates of Jannah. The gates were opened, and Idris, peace be upon him, looked inside. He saw what no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, and what no human heart has ever perceived. He saw rivers of milk that never change in taste, rivers of honey, pure and clear. He saw palaces made of hollowed-out pearls. He saw the soil of musk. He saw the light that comes from the throne of the Most Merciful. He felt the breeze of eternity, the peace, the silence of the soul that has finally come home. The angel said to him, "You have seen it, O Idris, now let us return." But Idris did not move. He walked through the gates. He stepped onto the soil of paradise. The angel called out, "O Idris, come back. It is not your time to stay, and this is the moment of the cheat. This is the moment of the great argument." Prophet Idris turned around. He held onto a tree in paradise and he said, "I will not leave." The angel was confused. "What do you mean? You must return to earth. Your time is not up in this way." Idris, the scholar, the writer, the man of wisdom, looked at the angel and presented his case. He used the laws of Allah to argue for his stay. He said, "O angel, has Allah not said that every soul shall taste death?" The angel said, "Yes," Idris said. "I have tasted death. I've already done it." Then he said, Has Allah not said that there is not one of you but will pass over it? The angel said, Yes. Idris said, I have passed over it. I have seen the fire. And then he played his final card, and has Allah not said concerning the people of paradise, nor will they ever be expelled from it. He promised that once a soul enters Jannah, it never leaves. I have entered. I am here. Are you asking me to break the promise of Allah? The angels were stunned. The logic was flawless. He had technically fulfilled the requirements. He had died. He had seen the punishment. He had entered the reward, and the law of the reward is that it is eternal. The dispute was raised to the highest authority. Allah, the all-knowing, the best of planners, intervened. He knew Idris's plan before Idris even thought of it. Allah spoke to the angel. My servant has spoken the truth. He has entered by my permission, and he shall stay by my permission. Idris, peace be upon him, 1. He did not go back to the earth. He did not die a second death. He remained in the heavens. This brings us to a beautiful mystery in the Quran. In Surah Maryam, Allah mentions Idris with a very specific, unique description. He says, I mention in the book Idris, indeed, he was a man of truth and a prophet, and we raised him to a high station. Scholars have debated this for centuries. Does it mean a high station of honor? Or does it mean a high station physically? The story of the Ascension gives us the answer. Centuries later, on the night of Isra and Miraj, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, traveled through the heavens. In the first heaven, he met Adam. In the second, he met Isa and Yahya. In the third, he met Yusuf. And when he reached the fourth heaven, who did he find? He found a man sitting there, alive, welcoming him. He asked Jibril, who is this? Jibril said, this is Idris. He was there. He is still there waiting, while we walk on the earth burying our dead, struggling with the fear of the end. Idris is sitting in the fourth heaven, the man who walked through the door of death and came back out the other side. But this story isn't just a loophole. It isn't just a clever trick. There is a profound lesson here for every single one of us. Why did Idris do it? Why is he afraid of the pain of death? No, he was a prophet. He knew his reward was secure. He did it because he was obsessed with being close to Allah. His initial request, delay my life, was not so he could eat more food or enjoy more luxury. It was so he could worship more. His argument to stay in paradise was not because he wanted the rivers and the palaces. It was because he could not bear to be separated from the home of peace. He cheated death by falling in love with the life of the hereafter. Most of us are trying to cheat death in the wrong way. We try to cheat it with medicine, with diets, with surgery, with freezing our bodies. We are obsessed with keeping this physical body alive for a few more years. Idris taught us the real secret. The only way to truly defeat death is to die before you die, to kill your ego, to kill your attachment to this world, to let your heart ascend to the heavens while your feet are still on the ground. If you live for this world, death is the end of everything you love. It is a tragedy, but if you live for Allah, death is just a door. It is just a transition. And if your heart is already attached to the throne, like the heart of Idris, then you never really leave the high station. Prophet Idris is known as the man of truth. And the truth he showed us is that the grave is not a wall, it is a window. He walked through it early, and he is waiting for us. So, the next time you think of death and feel fear, remember the man who sat on the wing of an angel. Remember the man who argued with the guards of heaven. Remember that for the believer, death is not the executioner. Death is the friend who takes you by the hand and leads you home.